We knew what was the objective, and we're going about it methodically. If you don't know what the goal is, you weren't listening. Let me explain it to you this way.
It started out with regime change and ending the nuclear program.
There was never regime change.
Yes, it was. He said today we already did a regime change because you got Ayatollah Jr.
Ayatollah. Stop You're hyperventilating. Relax. Let me explain the war to you. Why would Donald Trump lie about talking? All he does is talk. He's talking to everybody. You don't believe that he was talking to the Iranians? Come on.
I didn't say that.
Of course he's talking.
Well, let's listen to Jesse Waters debating with Jessica Tarlov on The Five about the importance of defeating the Iranians now before it's too late. And of course, I want to hear what you have to say about it. So don't forget to leave your comments below, subscribe to this channel, and we'll talk to you on the other end of The Five.
It is important that people are allowed to, and that their questions about what's going on are even welcomed. That is healthy. And, you know, Greg, you said how he's been conducting this war has been great. There are a number of people who are not out there making those kinds of statements, like even from John Brennan, who are raising real questions.
John Brennan is a fraud.
Okay.
If you're going to bring up John Brennan as your source, this man is a known prevaricator, a liar.
I'm saying, don't use John Brennan as the example.
You did!
Because he was in the montage.
So that's not my fault.
What is happening? Just like, listen, Donald Trump himself and Pete Hegseth and top officials with the administration have told us completely backwards explanations for this multiple times. We have heard it will be a few days. Actually, it will take months. No boots on the ground. Also, maybe a draft, and we're sending thousands of troops to the region.
Did you hear about a draft?
No. Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, look, Caroline. Yeah, well, you were on vacation. I'm glad you got some color.
I wasn't dodging the draft.
Not like our president. We already won. Also, give us $200 billion. We fight with bombs. Also, let's give $14 billion in oil sanctions relief. We're going to end the regime. They'll never get a nuke. Just kidding. Those aren't our goals anymore. There are serious developments in the fact that Israel and the Saudis want us to keep going, perhaps past the point that the administration wants to keep going. Then you have the question of what happens in a year, 2 years. Let's say that we get out in the next few weeks, which maybe that is the plan. Can they rebuild these facilities? Not just talking about the nuclear parts. I'm talking about the drone manufacturing and the ballistic missile manufacturing, which has been actually to this point our greatest issue. Those are all very real and valid questions rooted in things that Donald Trump is saying himself. He already said again today, we already won. Why are we even talking about this?
Oh, can I just jump in for a second?
Please, whatever.
I mean, Jessica asked a question that a 5-year-old would ask. When is this thing going to be over?
Stop it.
Okay, that's not a serious contribution to the discussion about a war, Jessica, okay? We knew what was the objective, and we're going about it methodically. If you don't know what the goal is, you weren't listening. Let me explain it to you this way.
It started out with regime change and ending the nuclear program.
There was never regime change.
Yes, it was. He said today we already did a regime change because you got Ayatollah Jr.
Stop You're hyperventilating. Relax. Let me explain the war to you. First off, why would Donald Trump lie about talking? That's all he does is talk. I mean, you don't think he's talking? He's talking to everybody. He was talking to Maduro right before he pulled him out of bed. He talks to Putin. He talks to reporters who call him at 1 o'clock in the morning. You don't believe that he was talking to the Iranians? Come on.
I didn't say that.
Of course he's talking. And he bought a lot of time, 5 days, for the 82nd Airborne.
For the market to have a good time.
For the 82nd Airborne to get into theater. I mean, that is a crazy conspiracy
And he fired the guy, the woman who was going to be in charge of investigating it.
Okay, Jessica, no one knows what you're talking about.
Everyone does who pays attention.
Everybody on Blue Sky. Come on, Jesse.
Everybody knows he bought time to talk, to give peace a chance, but also get the Marines and the paratroopers in the region so we can secure the Strait and possibly secure Carg Island. Now, if that happens over the weekend, and it's what most people would consider a major military victory, what is the Democrat complaint going to be then? The Strait's too open? You should have done this last week. I mean, we sustained a couple casualties. You know, this is war. There's going to be problems. It's not going to go according to plan. But to say the guy's lying about peace talks 3 weeks into the operation, and you're the CIA director, former, I mean, that's either the guy has TDS or it's a PSYOP. to undermine the commander-in-chief and spew foreign propaganda on American television. You nailed it, though. The Israelis and the Saudis, the whole region, Europe, the Australians, the Japanese, they're all coming together to make sure we don't have to deal with these people anymore, to keep the strait open. And now you have China begging the Iranians to surrender before Friday because they can see what's coming. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything Trump's doing as the commander-in-chief. I get it. You don't have to agree with the way we went to war. But once you're in it, you got to be in it to win it. And you have to understand there's a huge payoff if we're victorious.
The strait was open. We're the ones that caused it to be closed.
Jessica,
and now we're trying to undo what we did.
The Iranians have been bombarding the strait for 40 years.
Okay.
It's actually put a $5 to $15 premium on every barrel of oil that goes out of there. Once you take them out of the equation, oil's going to go down. Everybody knows it.
Well, there they were, the great five, led by Jesse Waters and others. And, you know, that woman, Jessica Tarlov, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Unfortunately, she's a left-wing Democrat. She doesn't really understand the real significant dangers posed by the Iranian government. Right now, they've choked off the Straits of Hormuz, choking off energy supplies to the rest of the world. They've been firing their missiles at almost every country around them. Now, why would they do that? Why would they fire missiles? I understand they want to destroy Israel and the United States, but why are they destroying Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, even Qatar, their allies? Because they are Shia Muslims, they have an eschatological vision of an end to civilization, where the Mahdi will return when there's chaos and murder of Jews and Christians in the world, kind of an apocalyptic ending, kind of like a nuclear ending. And that will explain to everybody here why Donald Trump is so frightened, why he's so scared, not just for himself, but for Western civilization. I mean, these people pose a tremendous threat. Look at the damage they've done over the last 3 weeks to the Middle East. I mean, firing their missiles, weapons of mass destruction. You know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are in bunkers several times a day across Israel, across the Middle East. They're destroying infrastructure. They're destroying refineries. They're firing off in almost every country that's not Shia Muslim. The Shias believe in apocalyptic ending. The Twelvers believe in apocalyptic endings. And that's what they're doing right now. Their threat is very severe, very significant. And can you imagine what would happen if the United States and Israel didn't take down the Iranian mullahs and the IRGC right now? Could you imagine if they had a nuclear weapon? They fired thousands and thousands of missiles and drones all around the Middle East, even at NATO allies as far as Cyprus. Could you imagine if only one of those 2,000 had a nuclear weapon? That might be the end of civilization. Really, the end of civilization. If they were to nuke Israel and Israel fought back, they think they have nukes, they don't know, they destroy Iran, that'd be the end of oil for generations. Everything would be contaminated. So therefore, you know, we have to fight right now as fast as we can with the most strength that we can while we have a strong president to defeat Iran for the future of the Western world. I think Americans and the Democratic Party should be celebrating and thanking Israel for putting its Air Force and its soldiers in such danger and harm's way against the Iranians. I mean, most people don't want to fight them, but the American government wants to fight them. The American army wants to fight them, and Air Force. And Israel is a tremendous ally. Israel loves the United States. It's a country which loves democracy, freedom, the Constitution of the United States, liberty, Judeo-Christian civilization. They are partners with us, the United States, because they understand that the threat to Iran is tangible. I mean, it's moving very, very quickly, and therefore their threat must be eliminated immediately. They can no longer be able to choke off the Straits of Hormuz from Cargo Island. America may decide to take it on. I know Donald Trump is negotiating with them, but if negotiations don't work, we have to be ready to fight back with all our forces as much as possible. Because can you imagine what would happen if they actually choke off oil to the rest of the world? The economies would collapse. This is happening from the Iranians. And this war didn't just start a month ago. This started in 1979. The war against Iran and the mullahs has been happening for 47 years. They've been murdering millions of people, killing their own people, throwing acid on women, getting up every morning in their schools saying death to America, death to Israel, exploring their terror and creating organizations like Hezbollah, planting them in Lebanon, a former Christian country, planting them in Hamas. You saw the horrific genocidal intents of Hamas on October 7th, the Houthis firing their missiles from Yemen. You know, they've been doing this for maybe 30 years right now, 40 years. They blew up 250 Marines were killed in the 1980s in Lebanon. They took the American hostages in Tehran for 444 days under Jimmy Carter. Then they were released during Ronald Reagan. These people have the intention to destroy us, and they bring with it a religious fervor of Shia Twelver Islam, which poses a tremendous threat not only to Jews and Christians, but to Sunnis and moderate Islamic states, moderate Muslim states as well, like Qatar, and and they pose a tremendous threat to moderate Arab countries such as UAE, Bahrain, Egypt, and others. So it's time now to finish this off carefully. I think Jesse Waters understands what's at stake right now. And I think Jessica Tarlov is just very confused because she's really a Democrat and doesn't understand the real threat of a nuclear Iran and what it means for her life, for everybody's life in the United States today. But of course, I want to hear what you have to say about this. Don't forget to leave your comments below, subscribe to this channel, and we'll talk to you in future great videos.